Hi, my name's David Poland. I'd like to welcome you to Portland Film Beat. Tonight, my guest is David Jack Jester. He is a producer and cinematographer at Pro Video Productions here in Portland. Welcome aboard. How you doing, David?
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Hey,
Yeah.
my pleasure.
What first got you interested in media production?
Well, I started out, my first cameras were printing cameras. I was working, I got my
So you've been
initial
doing this for a
graphic
few
arts,
years, huh?
yeah, setting printing, and about in the mid-70s I had a daughter,
Yeah.
and I wanted to shoot some home movies, so I was investigating shooting 8mm film and things like that, and it was just so expensive. Then they had, I looked in the paper and there was a camera, a VHS Portapack and a camera.
Right, okay,
And
that's when they were first out.
1978, we didn't know to go VHS or Beta, but I went VHS.
Smart move.
And started shooting home movies of my daughter. And once I had the camera, I realized that you can shoot 2 hours for 30 bucks. VHS tapes were $30, 78. So I started, anybody that'd buy me a tape.
You shoot their stuff.
Yeah, baseball games, whatever, you know.
Is that right? Okay.
So,
But it led to a career for you.
and so it started out as a hobby, but it didn't take long at all before I went out and shot some of my friends playing music, because I was doing a lot of music promotion and things like that. It's in the music business, sort of, and I'm a musician too, so we would record each other, and I started my little collection going, and then we'd throw parties. And we'd get a big screen TV, and I'd get about 1,000 people coming down and watching the video. In 1978, it was pretty rare, you know. So
it was exciting.
it was
It still
exciting.
is.
Nobody else was being able to watch a playback of Last Weekend in the Bar, and so I got known for my parties I threw.
Okay, well, that's good.
And-
Give us your best guess. How many productions have you been involved in? I know it's been more than you can even guess, but give it a try.
Well, the 3/4-inch tape that I shot in the 80s is a double garage full. It is 10 Gorilla racks with about 500 hours on each set of racks. So I have about 5,000 hours. That's
That's not right. You
3/4.
still have all that material.
Yeah, I don't know if it's all good, or the tape is 35 years old.
Right, and they can
So-
disintegrate a little bit over time. The magnetic ones, I'm not sure, but I think they
They
lose their
have-
magnetism or something.
They have they lose the high frequency is the first thing they lose, and that's where the detail is. So they
Okay.
start to get soft, like they're out of focus.
Okay, right.
And
Fuzzy.
yeah, but the audio stays good. But it depends on the type of tape that I shot it on.
The better quality lasts longer.
If I had a budget, somebody was actually paying me to do something, then I would go out and buy brand new Scotch MBRs, Those tapes that I recorded on a Scotch MBRs 35 years ago, I take them off my shelf, put them in the machine, and they just play like 35 years ago.
Is that right?
Just as good, yeah. I kept them in, the tapes I had a studio in Northwest Portland on 17th and Kearney for 20 years. And had been originally a film vault distribution point.
Oh, really?
So there was these concrete vaults with 2-foot wall in the back with steel doors on them and everything for fireproof. If it was old silver nitrate tapes they were made to distribute were explosive. So for 20 years the tapes were in there, and they are all the same temperature and
that was great.
moisture. So they were all perfect. But moved out of that studio 15 years ago, and I got a house. So they've been in a garage, and I've tried to keep as many as I can in my house, which is full to the ceiling with tapes, shelving. Every wall is just full of bookshelves full
But
of
they're your
tapes.
babies, man. You love them.
They are my
So
children.
You work actually mostly with closed circuit TV. You shoot music videos, raves, rumble at you
Cage
do
fights.
Cage fights.
Mm-hmm.
So you shoot a lot of different things, live action. Are you the only cinematographer, or do you bring along a camera crew and have actually other people doing the work with you, or you work alone?
Well, I have a little crew that I work with, depending on it depends on what production is. Like the Blues Fest, when you've got 8 cameras, you want them
The
all.
Portland Blues Festival.
The Waterfront Blues
Yeah.
Festival. Yeah, I've done the North Stage there for the last 5 years.
Oh, is that right?
So, the jumbotrons.
Right.
They're yeah, those are my images.
Oh, is that right?
Directed live. Yeah. So.
So what are some of the challenges then? You shoot weddings?
Only for friends and not very often.
Right.
The ceremonies are, usually they have in a church or something that now has video. But I'll shoot the reception for them. Those are fun.
Right. It's
stuff.
doing music videos as opposed to, because if you do a music video, you can reshoot part of it if you need to. But at the Blues Festival, you can't. You don't have a redo. It's live. It's going right then. What are the challenges different in being able to do like a music video where you can't go, okay, we got to do that part again. I want to get a close up. I want to get, a couple of insert shots, as opposed to going live. I mean, there's got to be a lot more pressure.
The pressure's on. Yeah. But I always have a backup shot. I always have a wide shot, and I got my finger on that one button. I can bail because you can't communicate with.
So when I see the wide shot, David's bailing.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a bail shot while I'm waiting for somebody else to get a
focused
shot
and stuff. Right. All right.
Because a lot of times you don't know what's going to come up. It's by playing by ear. But being a musician, I also know that at the end of this 8-bar, 16-bar riff or something like that, that they're going to change.
Do you actually, a lot of times, listen to the band rehearse and know what's coming up and what's going to happen, so it gives you a better idea what to shoot?
No,
Sometimes.
I play it like basketball zone.
Okay.
I play the zones.
The zone defense.
Yeah, okay. That camera, you stay with that guy and don't go wider than a wide shot.
Right.
And
Because he might be bouncing around. And you can't.
Because you can't talk to him when the music's
It's
playing.
too loud.
It's way too loud.
Is that right? Right.
So you pre-direct them, and then on breaks between songs and stuff, then you can get a few words in, sometimes edgewise.
Do you ever stream to the web or live?
I have streamed live. Yeah, I can do that. I have several mixers, the switchers that allow me to. One of them has built-in streaming on it, so it streams, which is a lot of fun. To have international viewers watching you.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, well, that all depends on your promotion, because the audience has shifted so much from when I started. It was you distributed VHS tapes. Now you just upload it onto the net, and
everybody's got access.
And everybody, no more. I made my bread and butter during the 90s, and picked up a lot of legal gigs because I put together a VHS dub rack. I could make 20 VHS tapes off of any master. I had put it through a time-based corrector and made nice clean tapes. I went and bought new machines and distribution amps and all that. So I was on the edge of downtown Portland. I had a video Kinko's. So all the lawyers and stuff like that from downtown would send messengers up with tapes. I need 5 copies of this afternoon for the judge and the other lawyers and stuff.
Okay.
So I'd run them off 5 copies and make nice labels for them. So I developed a...
So Pro Video Productions actually was more than just shooting things at that time.
That was all video services. I'm a sort of a one-man jack.
Right there. Okay.
I would shoot, I edit, I light, I'm a sound engineer, I'm a video engineer.
Okay, well, so of all those things, what is your favorite thing to do? Edit, shoot, sound?
Well, that's what's nice about this job. It's
you get
because
to do all of them?
I do it all. And when I go in and I'm going to shoot a gig, I'll make the decisions as to where to put the cameras.
Okay.
Because for 20 years I've been using robotic heads. And so I can mount a robotic head on a nail sticking out of a brick wall or a tree limb or anywhere I want to put a camera. I can, control the camera's zoom, pan, tilt,
Right.
and
Do you think has it made life easier for you since we went with digital and there's a lot more functionality in cameras nowadays? than when you had
I
to
like
use
it
VH8?
because it shrunk down and it's a lot less to haul around.
A lot smaller, a lot less
But the
weight.
cords now, you know, you still got to haul 800 pounds of cords to do the Blues Fest, even
Is
though the
that right?
cameras are shrunk down to the well, you're only 1.5 pounds.
The cords did shrink?
Yeah, and 800 pounds of cords still weigh 800 pounds.
Well, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
You're right, I didn't think about that. Tell us about a bad, something went wrong.
Oh.
We want to know about how you had a
Oh,
disaster.
some
Come
dirt.
on. we want to know about a disaster. Then we're going to ask you about one of the more
Oh,
fun,
let's see.
exciting things.
Where something went wrong? Oh, well, there's been different types of things that can go wrong. I've had equipment failures in the mill, and actually having problems develop in the course of shooting a live gig. That is fairly common. I mean, I've had audio cords get cut. I've had, you know, major, and when you're rolling live, you don't have a chance. You have to fix it on the fly. So that's why you have to know all about equipment. Besides, I mean, there's a lot more to it than just pushing that the switch back and forth. You know.
Right.
Pick camera 1, camera 3, whatever. So what I've had equipment go bad. I've had talent do very strange things before, which is, you know.
You can't control the talent.
Yeah, but if you're not live, then. But I try to.
What's
think.
one of the more exciting times that you can remember? I mean, we're talking 30 years, I know, so you got a lot of stuff you can tell us.
Oh, well.
Well, here's one thing. I know you shot the Kingsmen doing Louie Louie in the actual Animal House.
Yeah, a
down
toga
there.
party at the Animal
That had to
House.
be exciting. You've also worked with, gosh, I can't remember, but you've worked with a number of different really pretty famous bands, right?
Oh, yeah. A lot of national acts, you know.
Okay.
Just kind of, they come and go through the course of what I've done, because one of the motivations is this is a hobby. I love doing it. And I have a collection of performances and talent that this town has produced over the last 35 years. So I just kind of, it's like a collection, you know, like some people collect coins and some people collect stamps. Well, I collect recordings. And I've had some people don't like me because I don't go talking business with them. I'm just kind of out. I show up with my cameras and I'm shooting them, and they get caught off guard. And 90% of them love it.
Right.
But there's the 10% who go, "Hey, this is not business-like," you know. I go, "Well, I have never signed a contract. I always shake hands, you know. And if you got a problem, you don't want me to release it, just tell me, and I, you know."
Won't do it.
It's buried on my shelf. Nobody. Oh.
So you do live events. You did Rumble at the Roseland. You've also done Taste of Portland, Taste of Beaverton, the Washington County Fair, Ski Bowl.
Yep.
Some of those. Can you tell us how is doing Taste of Portland and Taste of Beaverton? How are those different than doing music videos?
Well, they are music videos because they're basically music is what brings the people together,
Okay.
and then they sell them food in the booths and stuff. So
Right.
that's the concept for the bite, and so when I have produced those, I shoot for 2 or 3 different reasons. It's all in the edit, because then I will edit next year's commercials. I will edit
For the Portland, for these the Taste of Portland.
Taste of
Portland and
Beaverton, yeah. Well, I haven't done the taste. They haven't even done a taste in like 5 or 10 years or something.
Yeah.
But because I was the only guy in town running around with the camera in 1978. There's a lot of the promoters and like the people who do the bite and the blues festival. Those were my friends amongst that I was kind of hanging out with. So when they got the concept of having the bite, they asked me if I would do the video for them before a year before the first bite ever happened.
Oh, is that right?
So I volunteered for all this stuff when it was still in the planning stage. The same with the Portland Music Association for the mayor's balls, and because I I shot 300 or 400 hours, 300 or 400 bands there at the Mayor's Ball. I'd go for where I could get a quantity, you know, if I could shoot 30 bands or 40 bands. Mayor's Ball, I shot 70 bands in one day.
Is that right?
7 stages.
Man, you must have been tired at the end of that day.
Oh.
Exhausted?
Oh, yeah.
In a good way, though.
I laid about 5 miles of cable out through the Coliseum in 1987. And that tide, I had 7 crews, mixed live crews for each of the rooms. We had 7 stages.
Right.
With 10 hours on each stage. And so I had about a crew of 150 people. And I laid cable out between every room so it could all go to a master switcher. Right. And then I could punch up any room I wanted, and we were onto all the different TVs.
You could do commercials at all?
Yeah, I have done everything under the sun, just about. I've sold every kind of product. I sold jet airplanes, like 5 kinds of planes.
Right here, why don't you talk to the audience right now and tell them who you are and what you do. We'd like to see them call you up, and he's going to have his email up there as well.
Yeah.
Look at his email and get a hold of him if you need something made, video or wedding, music videos. He's
no weddings.
there.
No weddings.
He wants to do music videos. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm very creative, and one of my favorite things to do these days is video art, and which plugins. I just got about 2,500 new plugins, and they can make your video into pastel oil paintings or molten steel, or I mean, there's so many different effects and sparkles and things flashing, and it's incredible.
Right.
And so it makes it very pretty and very interesting. Nothing is boring. I'm in Video Disneyland editing right now, editing Disneyland, because for the first 25 years it was all linear, tape to tape, no mistakes. If you wanted to move something, you had to take it down, re-edit from the scratch. You laid black and everything went in sequence. Now it's mouse clip, flip stuff around, move stuff, shorten stuff, anything you want.
It makes it easy, doesn't it?
I'm in hog heaven.
Is that right?
Yeah, I used to go around and I shoot a lot of stuff, but to post-produce it took so much time and work and everything. Basically, is all I would ever get around to doing is making the client VHS copies or something.
Right.
So. But now it's a couple mouse clicks and I can whip out a show.
And the special effects, you can just a couple mouse clicks too.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's flashy and it looks pretty insane. So.
What are your strengths in media production?
Strengths?
Yeah. I know you love to do it all. You said editing, but I mean, there's got to be something else.
The editing is where the magic happens.
Right.
That's where you find those magic little seconds, and you stack them all up and condense them down, and then all of a sudden you've got this controlled explosion of energy.
I like this. I like that controlled explosion of energy.
Yeah.
That's a cool way of putting it.
I'm doing a 30-second spot for a gift shop. I went out and I shot 2-3 days. I got 5.5 hours of raw footage. I went through and clipped out little 5 and 10-second clips. I have 20 minutes of usable shots. Now I'm going through and looking and just shrinking that. You just keep shrinking it down and shrinking it down.
What do you want, a minute or a half minute for that?
Well, I was shooting for a real hot 30-second spot for broadcast.
Okay.
But we're also going to do
like a
3-minute piece for the internet, the web. So.
Right.
Because
got to have the web presence.
It's where you find your market now. I mean, where are the viewers that are watching this right now? How did they find us?
The web. This will be on TV, but in limited amount.
Well, I'm really good at coordinating cameras, so that because I know the music, I know that okay, the verse is over. We're going to go to an instrument somewhere.
Question. Coordinating cameras, and you talk about how you do cage fights, as opposed to a stage with music. You probably have your cameras locked down. In a cage fight, do you go steady cam with it?
The directing's different. For when you're shooting music videos, it's all about watching the edges of the screen, and so you don't want to chop anybody in half, cut anybody's head off, It's aesthetically pleasing to see a performer. You see his whole instrument, but when you're at a cage fight, the challenge is just keeping them on the camera because they move so fast. And so the direction for the camera people are all different for the different. I have a whole crew of kids that just sit around and play video games all day long. So those guys I bring in for the rumbles at the Roseland, the cage fights, because it's a challenge for them to chase the guys down, you know. But they don't really have a clue about how to frame a shot of a guy playing the guitar. Yeah, pan left a little bit. No, don't cut off his head, you know. Trying to teach them how to frame a music shot. That's a whole nother ball of wax.
But a cage fight is different.
Cage fights just chase them down. And if they go down on the mat, zoom in so you can get me the tight shot. I want to see the blood. I want to see the sweat.
You want to see him grin.
Yeah, I want to see the...
So does the audience.
Yeah, I've shot about 110 cage fights in the last 12 years.
Wow.
So that's a bread and butter gig for me. It's like every 6 weeks. So.
Wow, that's great. So what are your weaknesses in media production? It doesn't sound like you have many, but there's got to be you've got to recognize something over these years.
Oh, weaknesses? Well, you know, stress. When you're starting up a gig and it's showtime, and that band is going to start at 8 o'clock, and you're still having a problem somewhere. Your audio's not tapped in right. I got a hum, I got a buzz, I got a wavy line going through my video, you know. Something is not right. But it's showtime. That's when it's like I get totally stressed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got to solve that problem
sweat
during
like a dog.
What's going on. And
you have a deadline. It's showtime. You just can't. And a lot of times you have a restricted amount of time. You can only get in there at a certain amount of time. And to set up, you have to know how much you can set up. You know, like I know it takes me a half an hour to set up a camera, you know, take a camera out and set it on a robotic head and mount it, you know, and that's if I'm not getting distracted. So.
Right. Do you ever use a Steadicam during music videos? I see that a lot nowadays.
Well, now you got
or
steady
sliders?
shot.
Do you use sliders at all, or dollies?
Trucks. No, I haven't used. I've had trucks and dollies and booms and all that stuff, but there's so much hassle to use that you don't really need to. What I'm into now, these days, I'm working layers, video layers. So when I go to do a music video, I just did one for Candios.
Okay, what do you mean by
They're
that?
a Cars tribute band.
Okay.
And they had 4 songs, and they wanted to make a demo out of them.
Okay.
And they were already recorded, so we're lip syncing. So I got a black studio like this one, and we went in there and we did 4 takes on them. And I had 4 cameras on each take. So altogether, I got 16 takes. So I put those into 16 layers of video. The top one is the one that shows.
Right.
But I can dissolve it down, and then it reveals the next layer down.
Right.
I can dissolve that. It layers things down. I can cut, split,
Right,
move
with
stuff.
the editing software
Yeah,
nowadays,
you
it
can
makes it
do
a piece
anything
of
you
cake.
want to any layer you want.
Right.
And so you can, and then you can also make your camera moves in the on the software, and
Right.
make your zooms and try twist stuff.
Yeah, but the zooming with the software kind of loses its focus a little bit.
I know, but I throw effects over it and turn them into pastel, you know,
Okay.
molten. And
You
nothing.
mask
I
it.
don't like
You
zoom
put-
in and leave it there.
Yeah, I know.
You know, everything is moving. That's my style. I have my own style of finished production, and
Right,
you can.
but music videos move a lot. There's actually over-edited some of them, I think.
I'm exactly the opposite from every other music video
Good.
producer.
I think because
Everybody.
we used to watch MTV when they first in the 80s first came out with music videos. They were not edited. Nowadays they're over-edited. It's like clang, pew, 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 pew. They go so fast you can't see anything almost. You're not like that though.
It's in the concept of I don't use hard cuts in anything I do. You'll watch an hour and a half of my show and there won't be a hard cut in the whole thing. Everything is blending and melting and moving and shifting one shot into the next. Just coming at you. It's just coming at you, and zooming in and shifting and coming up, and a blank spot in the screen turns up with a drummer shot, you know, just as he does it. You know, I coordinate, and I follow the music, the energy of the music. Some people, they don't care, man, you know, I'm sitting there watching, and that has a lot to do with the mentality of the director and the producer.
Right, cool.
But it's like a football game to me, you know. If you're going to record a play, the quarterback's going fading back to toss, do the pass, and a bad director will be watching some guy tackling or blocking the center, blocking the guy, and not catching the action.
Right.
But they don't care because it's just moving around. So
anyway, guess what? We're running out of time here at Portland Film Beat. I had a great time talking to David, and I hope you contact him if you have a music video and other things. He'll help out, trust me. I want to thank Christo and Krista here at the studio. They help a lot. I want to thank my director, Ellery Nelson. Our assistant directors are Phil and Susan Holmes. They do an excellent job over there. I also want to thank my wife, Carol Poland, who's the producer. So until next time on Portland Film Beat, shoot for the silver screen.